Games also mark the return of golf and rugby and the debut of women's rugby at the games. It may all seem good, but plenty of problems in Rio this morning. Paul Ryan joining us now live from Rio. And Paul, what kind of issues are we looking at with the water?
Well, what's rule number one when you travel to a foreign country, Octavia and Brad? You don't drink the water, right? But before we get to all the negative stuff, I want to give you a quick tour around where we're standing. This is the heart of the Olympic Park at our live shot location. Over my shoulder, a bunch of venues that are going to be used over the next coming days. The Future Arena, that wooden-looking building off to the right. Off the screen here, the Aquatic Center, where Michael Phelps will be swimming all of his events. And arenas 1, 2, and 3. I guess they went with a generic naming scheme there. But as you mentioned, plenty of problems surrounding these games. If you've been monitoring the news at all leading up to this 31st Olympiad, you've seen the stories, you've seen the pictures, you know that the water quality here is pretty bad. And now that we're about to get the games underway, it's time for all those athletes that will be competing in that water to plug their nose and dive in face first into hopefully not a mess of consequences.
The Rio metropolis basically using the waters as a toilet.
Biologist Mario Moscatelli paints a grim picture of Rio's waterways, and in a matter of days, we'll find out if he's an expressionist or a realist. Hundreds of Olympic athletes will go for gold in polluted venues like Guanabara Bay and Lagoa Stadium, a concept Moscatelli and his colleagues literally cannot stomach.
If the tide is low, if it's raining, and if the winds come from the outside of the bay, not even Jesus can do anything about it.
It turns out the water here in Rio de Janeiro may be even more unsafe than previously thought. A recent AP report suggests that anyone who ingests more than 3 tablespoons of the stuff is going to contract the virus, and those who stick to the sand here at Copacabana Beach may not be safe either. A 16-month investigation reveals Rio's water is chock full of rotavirus. It also contains high levels of bacteria and fecal matter, which, if ingested, can cause a variety of diseases, including cholera and dysentery. However, the president of the International Olympic Committee insists his athletes will be safe.
In Guanabara Bay, you have 4 tests a day, which all show that the bay is according to the WHO standards. It's all coming together.
So the next logical question is, what are we going to do about it? Well, I think it's a little too late to cancel all of the outdoor events, so experts are making some pretty bizarre recommendations to the athletes that will be competing in the water, like don't put your head underwater and try not to open your mouth. 3 tablespoons of water is not a lot, and I can make you a promise right now, somebody is going to get sick here. We're just going to have to monitor the situation and find out just how bad it is, and hopefully not regret hosting these Olympics in Rio de Janeiro. Octavia, Brad, back to you.
All right, Paul, thank you. We're getting our first-hand look now at this year's medals. There they are. How about it, huh?
Pretty cool.
Silver and bronze medals were made using 30% recycled material. The gold medal made from gold extracted without using mercury.
There you go.